Alright, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how to set up 3 or more monitors with your graphics card, assuming it supports 3 or more monitors, and also how to set up AMD Eyefinity. Now here's the most important thing to realize. On your graphics card, go ahead and take a look at it and see what kind of output you have. You may have a combination of VGA, HDMI, DVI, DisplayPort, and so you want to kind of look at what you have. On my graphics card here, I have a DVI output, an HDMI output, and 2 DisplayPort outputs. And according to the website, it does support up to 4 monitors. This particular graphics card is an AMD 7850. Now, what's interesting is you're tempted to just go and buy a DisplayPort to DVI or to HDMI adapter. One important thing you need to realize with mini graphics cards is a standard DisplayPort to DVI adapter may not be what you need, and actually most likely if you're trying to do 3 or more monitors, it is not. And the reason is that most graphics cards only have they're only able to process so many DVI or HDMI connections, usually 2, on my card 2. And so if I plug a normal adapter into DisplayPort, it will work. But the moment I try to add that 3rd monitor, Windows is going to yell at me saying you cannot activate that monitor, and it's going to force me to disable any other connections. And that's because the graphics card can only output those output a HDMI or DVI signal twice. So the workaround for that is the DisplayPorts. Now the DisplayPorts will work, both of them will work fine along with an HDMI and DVI output, but it has to output the actual DisplayPort signal. So if you do not have a DisplayPort monitor, what you're going to need to get is an active DisplayPort to DVI or HDMI converter. That's what I have here. Now, if you, one thing you will notice is that these adapters do cost a little bit more. So while the generic adapter that I was able to get off Amazon for about $10 worked fine converting the DisplayPort into DVI, it is not an active adapter. Whereas this converter or adapter is about a $30 part. And so what that means is in the adapter itself, it converts it from the DisplayPort to the DVI. So it actively does it in the converter. So that means the video card itself can output DisplayPort format, and the adapter will make the change, hence the name active converter. So that is an important thing, so don't go cheap on the cable. Make sure it says active. A lot of times the product descriptions will say designed for AMD Eyefinity or something like that, or multi-monitor support. So that's the first thing. Make sure you get yourself the right cables. Look at your card, figure out how many HDMI, DVI, and DisplayPorts you have. Check the website for your graphics card. Make sure it can support 3 or more. If it has multiple outputs, including DisplayPort, most likely it does. But you definitely want to check that before you go spending a lot of money on a monitor. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and plug in the 3 monitors to the computer. So right now I'm just going to hook up the 3 DVI monitors. So I'm going to go ahead and plug one directly into the graphics card. Plug another one into one of the adapters. And the exact order that you plug these in doesn't matter too much, because you can always switch around the order once you're on the desktop. And we'll go ahead and plug in the 3rd monitor here. Alright, once you got all 3 plugged in, we'll plug in power back to the computer. And we'll go ahead and turn it on, and we'll see what we get. Alright, so we just turned back on the computer, and we got 2 monitors that are on. So let's go ahead and log in, see if we can get the 3rd monitor to come on here. So let's go ahead and open up our screens, extend the desktop. There we go. Alright, now that we got the 3 monitors there, now let's go ahead and just make sure they're set up properly. So you can click on Identify. That will show you which monitor is which, and just drag and drop them around into the correct order. Right now they're actually set up just fine. The only thing I need to change is I want to make the middle monitor, which for me is monitor 3, I want to make that my main display. So we're going to check that box there, and that's going to ensure that all my main notifications and everything fall on that monitor. And click OK. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and set up AMD Eyefinity. For this, you're going to want to download the AMD Catalyst software and driver. So we'll go ahead and get that opened up here. Alright, so now we're in the AMD Catalyst Control Center. So all we got to do is go over here on the left, click on AMD Infinity Multi-Display, and then click Create Eyefinity Display Group. If you have your monitors set up to extend the desktop, which is most likely what you're going to set them up as for normal use, you're going to only be able to check one at a time. And then here you'll see only the displays can be added belong to the extended desktop. So all you have to do is click Continue here, and that will remove them all. So what it's done now is it's merged all three monitors into one big display. So now what we need to do is rearrange the monitors to be displayed properly. So I'll show you here. If I zoom out, you can see the displays are not actually in line with each other. So we need to go ahead and click on Arrange. Alright, so now it's saying select the grid below that corresponds to the physical location of the monitor lit in blue, which we can see is the one on the left. So I'm going to click the one on the left. Now we can see the monitor on the right is lit in blue, so we'll click on the one on the right, and now it's finished. So now we can see a nice smooth transition between the three monitors, and our desktop is actually stretched. So if I click on the Start menu, it is actually now stretched across all three monitors. So this is actually kind of cool. Could be kind of annoying depending on what you want to do with it. You'll notice as you open up any file directory, it is also stretched. But this gives you one seamless desktop background. You can see my background is actually now also stretched across all three monitors. So basically what it does is it takes all three monitors and emulates them together. Now, where the real point of doing this is, or the real reason for doing this is for gaming, in my opinion. So now you can have an immersive gaming experience. So let's go ahead and open up a game and see how it works. Alright, so in here we can adjust the resolution of the game, and you'll have to do this probably in most of your games. So we're going to go ahead and stretch it across all the monitors. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to play this. Let's see what kind of frame rate we get. Playing by 540 by 1050. Might be a little much, but we'll see what we get. Alright, look how that doesn't work at all. Hold on. There we go. Helps if you apply the resolution change. Oh man. There we go. Now you get a pretty realistic view. So there you have it. That's all it takes to set up three monitors, assuming you have three monitors.